coming up now is Pandaw. It is a recording. Great. And this will be done by Cassidy Newman, Senior Media and Digital Manager. So, Dawn, go ahead, hit play, and we'll watch this video.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for your time today. My name is Cassidy. I'm the marketing manager here at Pandaw, and I'll be taking you through today's presentation. So who is Pandaw and how did we get started? Well, the company began in 1995 by Scottish historian Paul Strachan. Wanting to revive river cruising in Burma, he restored a colonial-era steamer designed after the historical Irrawaddy Flotilla Company. Bringing international travelers to many of the region's remote waterways, we pioneered many of these routes to become the leading river cruise line in Southeast Asia and India. Now, 30 years later, we've expanded to have 17 ships sailing through the region of Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, India, and Burma. Last year, in 2025, we started a new route through the Kerala backwaters, becoming the very first river cruise line to have a 7-night expedition in this region. But the key to our success really lies in our ships. The ships have a shallow draft, which means that we can reach remote destinations that larger vessels cannot. They are intentionally designed to be small, with only 10 to 30 cabins on board. This smaller atmosphere creates what we call the Pandaw spirit, and it means personal interactions between crew members and guests, where crew get to learn lots about guest behavior in terms of how they like their coffee, what they order for breakfast, so that there is a white glove type of experience on board. Guests also get to know each other very well, and it is not uncommon for guests to have a second sailing together after their first because they become such great friends on board. With some of the highest passenger to deck ratio of any ships on Asia rivers, the Pandaw experience is an expedition from start to finish. The compact design of our ships mean that we can get directly into city centers, so your guests also benefit from shorter land transfers and more time with the views of the river. There are 2 different sizes of our vessels. The P-class are our Mekong vessels. They are the 3-level ships with the beautiful sun deck on top. And the K-class vessels are our 2-level ships that sail all of our other routes. The stateroom is perhaps one of my favorite areas of the ship, and that is because they bring together that historical feel and colonial character with the modern day comforts that you would come to expect from a 5-star hotel. With over 15 square meters of space, you can lay in bed and look out your panoramic French windows to see the river from the comfort of your own room. Guests also have the flexibility to choose between 2 different configurations for their room. They can have 1 large king bed, as shown as this main image, or 2 twin beds here if they're sharing with a friend or family member. If your guest is looking for added room, our Mekong route also has what we call the Tonle Suites. It is a luxurious option for added space and comfort, which also includes a private butler, time in our sauna or steam room, and in-room Wi-Fi and cable TV. This is a great option for families that are traveling together that just need a little more space than our 15 square meters stateroom. The Tonle Suites run about 30 square meters, so give you double the space for your guests to travel in. The food and beverage on board is delicious, but I might be biased. We have a plethora of different options, including both local and international cuisine. Breakfast tends to be a mix of both eggs made to order and fruit that you can choose from. At lunch and dinner, you have plated entrees. Dinner also includes appetizers, soup, and dessert. And of course, we would be remiss to not mention the happy hour with signature cocktails and canapes made by the chef on board. Here's a couple of images from our dining team. All of our guests have mineral water, coffee, and tea included in their rate, and then they have the flexibility to upgrade to one of our drink packages or pay for the drinks as they go. On our India sailings, we do include beer and spirits, as well as house wine at both lunch and dinner. Also, I should point this out, our staterooms also have seating in front of them. So you have the privacy, if you so choose, to hang out just in front of your stateroom if you do not want to go up to the sun deck. Life on board is entertaining and has a mix of experiences depending on what you're interested in. Our chefs tend to head up cookery classes and demonstrations so guests can learn new recipes from the region they're sailing through and bring them home with them. They can tour the working ship to learn how our Pandaw vessels operate. We also try and bring in local entertainment from the regions that we're sailing through. So on the Mekong, for example, guests can see shadow puppet performances, which are local from Cambodia, or you can get up early and do some Tai Chi or yoga on the sun deck, as well as we have the option of listening to our local guides do historical talks and share information in some of our dining rooms. You can see here a couple images from one of our India chefs preparing a cooking demonstration on board. And then here is some yoga on the sun deck, a lion dance performance on the sun deck, and one of our chefs doing a fruit carving demonstration. Our Mekong ships also have a spa, so guests have the option to book a nail treatment if they would like a manicure or a pedicure, as well as massages or time in the steam or sauna. Onto our excursions. Pandaw use an all-inclusive format, so guests can do as much or as little as they want. And as I mentioned before, that shallow draft ship means that we are often bringing guests into local communities along the river that don't always see very much international guests. So you will go through guided walks through villages. You might do a boat trip on a sampan. You might go and see local artisans at work. Some of our ships also have mountain bikes as well, so you can do an independent cycling with the direction from the crew about your best route to explore. And you always have a tour guide able to help translate and bring you to destinations that you might not be able to see on your own. And here are a few images from some of our excursions. What's new from 2026, which I think is going to be a big benefit for travel agents, is our short cruise. This is a connector between Saigon to Phnom Penh, and like I said, directly from the city center to city center. It is a 3-night sailing, so super easy to add into wider itineraries, and it takes guests into the Mekong Delta, so it adds a lot of beautiful scenery on what might be an otherwise boring overland transfer. Guests get to go through fruit orchards, they'll see some local pagodas and have views of the delta below, and then they'll end in Phnom Penh, where they're able to continue the journey from there. That is our introduction into Pandaw. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.